This is the Strategise to Monetise No BS Way to Scale Your E-commerce Business podcast, episode 1. Hey, I'm Lou, and I'm the host of the Strategise to Monetise podcast. I'm a business strategist, digital marketing coach, and totally obsessed in all things related to harnessing the power of social media to turn side hustles into full-time gigs. In 2016, I left my high-flying corporate career to launch and grow my own online business. Whilst many at times, myself included, thought I was insane, there were a few things I knew for sure. I knew I wanted more from life than working for somebody else, building their multi-million or billion-dollar business. I knew I wanted freedom and flexibility to spend time with family and friends, to travel, to have hobbies and interests outside of working all the time. I knew I didn't want to sacrifice my income. In fact, I wanted to earn more than my 9 to 5, but in less working hours. And I knew I wanted to help and teach e-com business owners how to do that and have the same. This show is dedicated to showing you exactly how I did it and how you can too. The no BS way. Hit subscribe and let's get started. To gain access to my free training, steal my 5-step Facebook selling system, and scale your e-commerce business to 5K months, head to www.fbrevolution.co/masterclass. Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of the Strategise to Monetise podcast. I am your host Lou, and can I just say I'm nervously shitting myself, but also super excited to be here and launching this podcast, I guess, into the potty world. It is something I swore I would never do, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But just to give you a bit of insight in terms of what this episode is about, it's going to be short and sweet. It's going to be a short introduction in terms of who I am and what you can expect from following the Strategise to Monetise podcast every single week. So, as I mentioned, my name is Lou. I'm a business strategist. I'm a digital marketing coach, and I'm the owner of Louise Stevens Business Coaching. I help e-commerce business owners scale their e-com businesses using the Facebook platform. I love Facebook. I am obsessed in the platform. But the good news is that you're not only going to hear about Facebook on this podcast. It is entirely dedicated to all things social media, content, strategies, paid advertising, branding, marketing, the really juicy stuff that, that you're going to be able to hear about from myself, as well as amazing guests that I have joined me over the duration of our time together. So I have been a coach at the time that this has been published for 10 years, 5 years in corporate, 5 years or coming up 5 years in my own business. I am truly passionate about helping people. I love helping business owners understand how to utilize social media platforms to harness their power to ultimately connect with their perfect customer, build a relationship with them and showcase their products so that they can either solve the problem that they were created for or be a part of that desire or that outcome that product is used for ultimately at the end of the day. As I mentioned, it was not something that I ever thought I was going to do. In fact, I was dead against it. 2 reasons why. First and foremost, podcasts a few years ago became really big, and so many, business owners were on the podcast bandwagon, banging on all the time about how you had to launch a podcast if you were a serious business owner and you wanted to scale your business rapidly. Now, I am not one to listen to what everybody else is saying. So I dug my heels in and I went, oh, no, you don't. And I didn't buy into the whole, launch a podcast for all of the 10 million reasons that everyone was, kind of banging on about. But I guess all good things come to an end. And over the last few years, podcasts, they've hung around. People probably don't necessarily go on about them being the greatest thing ever like they used to. Other platforms and other tools and other functions have evolved that those, lots of people, I guess, claim are the next biggest thing. But one of the reasons why I decided to launch this podcast was so that I could reach and help more people and teach more strategies and give them an insight or a segue into people within my network, to be able to help them understand digital marketing and content marketing and social platforms and branding and all that good stuff, and be able to introduce you to some awesome guests that are leaders in their field to ultimately help you grow your business. This is all about you and delivering you content that you delivering you content that you love, to help you scale and move your e-commerce businesses forward. The second reason why I swore I would never start a podcast is, hot tip, I have a lisp, which I'm sure you've worked out by now. And, from a very young age at school, I was picked on and, and it was horrendous. I'm sure we've all got things, whether it be our voice or a body part or whatever it was that, we would get hassled about in the playground. And for me, it was my voice and my lisp. And, when podcast became kind of, I guess, a tool to be able to reach people and talk about business, and share knowledge and expertise, another reason why I dug my heels in and said no was because I don't love my voice like a lot of people. And I thought I would be crazy to start a podcast, which was, of course, voice orientated. But I am a big fan of Brene Brown, and I was constantly brought back to one of her quotes. If you're not in the arena getting your ass kicked with me, then I'm not interested in your feedback. So I've had to put my own insecurities to the side, and think about that this is not about me and this is all about you guys and being able to share insight, expertise, knowledge, and my network to be able to, motivate and inspire and help you take your business to the next place. So, what are you going to get from the Strategise to Monetise podcast? At the end of the day, this is the opportunity to tune in and hear tips and tricks and strategies, of course, about how to utilize digital marketing or social marketing mediums to be able to scale your business. I am an open book. I am going to share tons of value, that I teach my clients and my students in my business. And I'm going to share a lot of these tips and tricks with you guys to, hopefully help you get to places that you have never dreamed of getting in your business as well. I'm also going to be interviewing industry leaders that, are not only going to be in the digital marketing space, but they're also going to be part of the e-commerce world. And they're also going to be able, like they're in the branding and marketing and lots of, I guess, different areas that aren't necessarily social media or digital marketing orientated in terms of strategies, but you need them also to be able to grow your business, and get in front of the eyeballs that you need to build relationships with your perfect customers, of course, drive them to your e-shops and encourage them to buy. So I've already got an awesome list of guest speakers interviewed and lined up, and I can't wait to introduce you to some of my business buddies, and give you an insight into their expertise as well as my own. So, guys, that is it. It is short and sweet. I wanted to say hello, give you a little bit of background in terms of who I am, why I'm doing this, what you can expect. And I would love it if you could go ahead and hit subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. You can tune in weekly and hear from myself or another industry leader in your space. So go ahead and do that now, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode. If you've loved it, please go ahead and hit subscribe so you are notified when new episodes go live. Whilst you're there, I'd love it if you could leave me a review too. Then head on over to www.fbrevolution.co/masterclass, where you can gain instant access to my free and super juicy training, steal my 5-step Facebook selling system, and scale your e-commerce business to 5K months. See you on the next episode.